Hello friends, welcome to my channel Creating Essence. Today I am making pizza. It is Eclipse Day. We are great big bummers and didn't do anything fancy for the eclipse, but we are making some fun pizzas to have a party for dinner. I know I don't usually do a lot about what I'm doing in the kitchen, but I'm actually in the kitchen a ton. Today, let's see, right there, I have a 2-gallon batch of homemade Greek yogurt going. I'm making pizza from scratch for lunch. I did hummus and homemade tandoori chicken. We have a lot going on all the time. I am a sweaty mess because it is hot and it is summer. But today we are making pizza, starting with the dough from scratch, because pizza may be junk food inherently, but I really feel like I use the ingredients that I get myself. It's preservative free, it's from scratch, there are no chemicals, there's no soy, no rancid oils. We'll call it healthier. So here's how it goes. Alright, so the first thing we're putting in our mixing bowl is 2 cups of warm water. You don't want it hot. About 100 degrees is good, just slightly warmer than body temperature. Then we're pouring in our yeast. I use active dry yeast. Give it a gentle stir, just to try to get things mixed up a little. And then I just hang my hook there on the side. I just kind of let it sit for a moment. Get things all kind of, you'll notice things floating around, and it goes from being dry pieces to fluffy pieces. And then I add a tablespoon of sugar. Now what I tell my kids is the warm water wakes up the yeast and the sugar feeds it. And what we want the yeast to do is wake up, gobble up that sugar, and start burping. And their burping is what causes a rising action. We're going to let this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes until there's like a foam, a tan foam across the entire thing. You can see some bubbles starting to form. Let's see if I can zoom in there. You want that type of foam all over the entire thing. This is the foam that you want to see when your yeast has proofed. That means it is alive and happy and burping all over the place. So next, well, I put on my hook attachment. You can do this by hand. I have done this by hand for years. But now we are putting in about 4 cups of unbleached bread flour. The higher gluten content is necessary for a good pizza dough. It's about 2 teaspoons of Himalayan pink sea salt and about 2 tablespoons of organic extra virgin olive oil. And you mix it. Like I said, you can do this completely by hand. I did it by hand for many years. When I was doing it by hand, I would start this initial turning over process when there are very obvious liquids and solids that need to be mixed together. I would do this with just a plain old spatula, and when it starts turning into a dough, I would get my hands in there and knead it by hand for about 7 to 10 minutes until it is pulling together into a nice dough ball. And then we'll make about 3 large pizzas, maybe 4, starting to pull together into a tacky dough. It's going to continue to knead like this and pull everything off the sides. You can scrape it with a spatula if you need to. Make sure everything gets incorporated well and makes a nice, stretchy, smooth dough. And there we have it. I sprayed a little oil in there. Some people use a clean bowl. I don't dirty all those dishes. I sprayed a little olive oil in there. Sprayed a little on my hand and made sure it was all over this. Set it down in there. And then I'm going to let it rise. I will just leave it right there since it's pretty warm and humid in the kitchen today. I'm wondering how the humidity will affect the rise, but it is nice and warm, so it should rise no problem. Gonna let that go for about 30 to 45-ish minutes until it's at least doubled in size. It'll start rounding up the middle in here. Alright, can you see that? It's got the little puff there. And it's ready. Beautiful. Alright, punch it down. Let some of that air out. I have the oven preheating to 425, and I have 3 cookie sheets here, full-size cookie sheets, sprayed with olive oil, and I'm going to split that into 3 equal parts and put it on here. So these are ready to go. This is a thinner one. You can see it's pretty thin in spots, but my husband loves a thin crust pizza. It's going to be buffalo chicken. And this is a regular thickness. This is going to be a barbecue chicken pizza. And I'm going to par bake the crust, which means put it in the oven, bake it a little first because there's going to be sauce and then chicken and then cheese. And if I leave it like this before I top it, it's going to be a soggy mess of a crust. Sad baby. So we're going to par bake it so it's cooked a little bit first. And it will not soak up all the chicken juices as it cooks. So while these are par baking, I'm going to get the third one all ready to go in the oven, spread out, sauced, cheesed, everything. Alright, this one is ready to go in the oven. It's just sauce, well, it's crushed tomatoes, a little bit of sea salt, fresh basil from the garden, cheese, the last of the basil. This thinner crust is par baked now, so we are going to dress it up as a buffalo chicken. We have just some plain blue cheese dressing and some Frank's Red Hot because that is the only. Okay, we have a little Cholula in the house, but we are wholeheartedly a Frank's family. To keep it real here, this is how dinner's happening tonight. Right, Saul? Have it sauced. We're putting on the chicken. This is chicken from a whole roaster chicken I did for a different meal in the crock pot this weekend. And this is leftover meat that I pulled off the bones. Give it a nice layer of chicken, spread all over, mozzarella cheese. Oh, Saul. Now this is going to be a pretty juicy pizza with the chicken, which is why we par baked it. So it's not going to be a ton of cheese. Just enough to cover everything, and then it will melt down into a nice gooey layer over things. And I'm going to put these 2 pizzas in the oven, and the other one should be par baked completely now, and we can get that one dressed up while these bake. Now this is going to be barbecue chicken pizza. This is a sauce for it. It is equal parts crushed tomatoes and barbecue sauce. This we make to taste kind of similar to a pizza at one of our favorite spots up in New York called the Copper Top Tavern. They had, I think they did theirs with pork though, and we've done ours with like leftover pulled pork before and stuff like that. But today we have chicken, so we're doing chicken. So we have the sauce down, and now more of that chicken pulled off the bone from the roaster, just spreading it out evenly. Oops. And this is not going to take long once it's in the oven because it's pretty well cooked through. So the goal for this is to get the chicken hot and the cheese bubbly. Alright, that's all of our chicken, and now the cheese. I'm using mozzarella for all of these. I ran a little short for this one, so I just grabbed the end of a brick of Munster for this one. So that's why you see the orange flecks in there. So it's gonna have a little different flavor, but the Munster has a good flavor for cheese. So there's cheese, and now these are red onions from the garden. Copper Top Tavern always did red onions, and they would garnish it with cilantro. My husband is not a cilantro fan, but I am. So I will chop the cilantro and have it on the side for whomever wants to eat it. And Solomon is really protesting pizza making. And they are all done. We have the buffalo chicken, the cheese with basil, and the barbecue chicken. How is the pizza, guys?
Good.
Molto bene.
Do you like it?
Yeah, molto bene.
He's a little grumpy, but it seems like he likes it. Alright, friends. If they like this video, what should they do?
Subscribe.
Give it a thumbs up. Thank you, friends. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Can you say bye? He says no. I eat pizza.